All right, let's talk about what might be the biggest showdown in tech right now. Microsoft and Google are going head to head in an all-out war for AI dominance. And the main battleground? It's the place you do all your work, your desk.
So if you're running a business, managing a team, or you're just trying to figure out where to put your money in this AI race, this one's for you. The big question is, in this new battle for the desktop, who should you bet on? Let's break it down.
To figure this out, we're going to put them in the ring for a direct head-to-head showdown. And we'll look at the things that really matter for any user or any business.
And where else would we start but with the money? This is our first battleground, and it's the one that hits the bottom line the hardest. You know, with AI, we're not just talking about a few bucks here and there. The price difference can be absolutely massive.
Let's just cut to the chase. When you slice through all the marketing hype, the numbers tell a really, really clear story. If you look at the total cost of just getting up and running, Google AI is way cheaper than Microsoft Copilot.
So how much cheaper are we talking about here? Well, for a standard business plan, the one most teams would pick, you're looking at an average savings of a staggering 53%. That's not a typo. It's a huge gap that can completely change a company's budget. Let's translate that percentage into actual dollars and cents, because that's what really matters. For a pretty small team, just 5 people, going with Google AI over Copilot saves you almost $1,700 every single year. From a pure cost perspective, round 1 is a knockout. It goes to Google, decisively. Okay, but cost is only half the picture, right? A lower price tag can sometimes mean you're getting less power. So to find out if that's true, we got to go from the wallet to the engine. We need to pop the hood and look at the actual tech that's driving these things.
And this is where the tech differences get really fascinating. Let's start with something called the context window. You can just think of it as the AI's short-term memory. Now, Copilot has a 128,000 token window, which is pretty impressive. That's like feeding it a 96,000 word document. But then you have Google AI with a 1 million token window. That's the equivalent of 750,000 words.
Yeah, that's an 8 times bigger memory. So to put that into perspective for you, Copilot can analyze a really long chapter of a book. Google AI, it can analyze the entire book, and probably its sequel too. For deep research or trying to make sense of massive piles of data, this is a total game changer.
And Google's tech muscle doesn't stop there. It's also about the kind of information it can understand. I mean, sure, both of them can handle text, documents, and images, but only Google AI can natively process audio and video. So just imagine feeding it a recording of a long meeting or a product demo video and asking it for a summary. That kind of versatility is a huge, huge plus. But hold on, this is not a one-sided blowout. Because when you stop looking at raw specs and start looking at how you actually get work done every single day, Microsoft Copilot comes swinging back, hard. Its killer feature is that deep, deep integration into the Office suite. Independent tests show it's just better at summarizing documents for quick, actionable insights. And it really shines at structured stuff in your emails, spreadsheets, and especially for coding.
And this really gets us to the core conflict between these two giants. It's not just about a list of features, it's a totally different philosophy. Are you buying deep integration into the tools you're already chained to? Or are you buying raw, cutting-edge innovation that lets you do new things?
Now, you'd probably think with all that crazy tech, Google would be the clear fan favorite, right? But check this out. Based on thousands of user reviews, Microsoft Copilot actually has a slight edge in overall satisfaction. So what's going on here? Why are people actually a little bit happier with the tool that, on paper, has some gaps? It all comes down to one word: workflow. This user quote just nails it. They call Copilot a game changer, not because of some wild spec, but because of its seamless integration. Look, if your whole professional life is already built inside the Microsoft ecosystem, Copilot isn't some new app you have to go learn. It's just a natural extension of the tools you use every single day. It just fits. But then you've got the other camp. This Google AI user is raving about its incredible research capabilities and its amazing file handling. See, they're not just trying to do their old work a little bit faster. They're trying to do entirely new things, like analyzing a half dozen dense reports all at once to find insights no one else can see. So who wins?
The integrated workhorse or the innovative researcher? Well, this is where our story takes a really interesting turn. We started this whole thing by asking who to bet on, but it turns out that was the wrong question. The real win, it comes from a hybrid strategy. So here it is, the final verdict, and it might not be what you were expecting. The smartest move isn't to pick one platform over the other. It's to use the complementary strengths of both. You don't have to pick between Microsoft's seamless integration and Google's raw innovation. The winning move is to have both in your corner.
Okay, so what does this hybrid strategy actually look like in the real world? It's pretty simple, actually. It breaks down into 3 easy steps. First, you keep Microsoft Copilot for all your core stuff: email, documents, meetings. Second, you add Google AI for the heavy lifting, the deep research, the creative content, the complex analysis. And finally, you train your team on which tool to use for which job.
Let's make this super practical. Imagine a marketing team. For brainstorming the big campaign strategy, they'd fire up Google AI, tapping into that incredible research power. But then, when it's time to actually write and send the campaign emails, they'd switch over to Microsoft Copilot because of its perfect Outlook integration. It's all about using the sharpest tool for each specific task.
And what do you get in the end? You get the best of both worlds: integration and innovation. But here's the real kicker. Companies using this hybrid approach are reporting productivity gains that are 40 to 60% higher than companies sticking to just one platform. You get way more capabilities, and you get it all while being more cost-effective.
So, when it all comes down to it, this battle for your desktop isn't really about picking a single winner. It's about building a smarter, more powerful AI toolkit, which leaves us with one final thought. In an age where every single edge matters, could having the right AI strategy be your company's next great competitive advantage?